So let's talk real quick about the perils and promise of using bracket orders and using automated entries and exits on these things. So Mike Weaver asked a question about coin, and I said, looks good to me, right? It was setting up as this up here is like an infield fly setup. I mean, you prefer to see the open and the close be down at the bottom of the bar, but given what happened in the bar before, it wasn't going to happen. It closed. It's super liquid. I mean, coin does, this is 5 million shares today so far. Based on the parameters of what Mike was looking at, let's just delete this line and draw it again. I said, look, it's overextended. Institutional buyers, we're probably picking this thing up down here. Once you get this far up above the VWAP, it's time to look for some reversal patterns. And you go and you draw your anchored VWAP, and wow, like right around here, I think is 408.97, or it depends on where you're going to anchor the thing. You can go from this trough up to this peak, which is what I think I did. So you're looking about 409.50 as a possible exit. So then you go and you're trying to set up your order. And if you're fumbling with your mouse, right, it gets hard to go and set these things up just the way that you want them. So what you wind up doing is you say, well, all right, I want to do, where were we there? 412.93, right? So I want to set this up. I want to set this up real quick. I want to get my order out there fast. And you select a bracket, and in this case, the only bracket I have set up on this new machine is a 1x1. So now you're gonna, except this is the wrong symbol that I'm looking at here for you guys. Sorry about that. So coin, right? So I set up a 1x1 bracket, and you've got a 1x1 set, and now you're trying to figure out how you're gonna move the bracket around. Well, when something's moving as fast as coin, and you've got a bracket that's out there like that, right? There's the executions. You can see that it went and filled exactly where we wanted it to, so it's coming down through the line. You get your fill right at the violation of the pivot line.
Order canceled.
And then where's a dollar? A dollar is just not very far away. You're looking to target the VWAP, and when your $1 move is to right there, you get taken out for a profit. Hooray! But you were taken out so quickly that when it came down, and it almost got down to your target here, if you would have had, if you spread those brackets out a little bit more, then as it was coming down towards your target line, let's just say you've got the targets set up in the order flow on the way to the VWAP. Your targets here. You see it coming down. It starts to wiggle, and then if you're chart trading, you can just grab the line and sort of follow this thing up into the tail as it starts to reverse. You can follow it right up to there. You would have had 410.54, so it would have been $2.40 on the trailing stop exit versus $1 on the straight up bracket. But that's the trade-off you've got to weigh. You've got to measure this stuff. Like how good am I going to be at trading it just wide open? If I'm just putting in a limit order and I let the order go live and I let the order fill me, well, now I've got to go back and I have to grab the other side of that limit. I've got to go in and put that thing out there quick enough. Or do I want to set the bracket, set it and forget it, have it here at the target, and just let it go, right? So now it would have hit the target. So now you're not looking at your screen. You just let the thing go. You let it do what we think it's going to do. Or do you want to jockey the price around manually and try to get out? So those are your three options. You've got just a fixed bracket sitting there. 1x1 bracket's great on a $200 stock. On a $30, $40 stock, it gives you plenty of time to move things around. $400 stock, you're in and out so fast, you just don't have time to go and modify the thing. I'll take it. I'll take the profit. That's fantastic. You get a 1x1, but it'd sure be nice to have caught Mike's trade here all the way down to the profit objective. But that's the logic behind it. So take a look at what it's doing here around that VWAP. Got down to the session VWAP. As soon as it got there, started buying back up again. Got into the anchored VWAP, where we've got that. And if you're looking at, I don't know, my charts keep defaulting to 5 days of data, and it's making me crazy. If you look at where it bumped right into today's volume cluster, right into that anchored VWAP, and then reversed up into that trading range. So it's all good stuff. But those are the considerations when you're taking these trades. How are you going to set up the order, and how are you going to deal with very different price points on some different stocks?